It is the 24th of July 2022, Sunday, 8 a.m. New Zealand time, and this is the New Zealand Travel Show.
Hey there, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide, because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand. Because yes, in just over a week's time, the borders will be fully reopened, back for everyone that can, that could come to New Zealand before the whole pandemic thing started. So exciting times. Now is the perfect time to start planning your trip to New Zealand, which you can do for absolutely free over on NZPocketGuide.com. But if you're not really into reading, this is what the NZ Travel Show is all about. You guys can come onto the live chat and ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to the experts behind NZPocketGuide.com.
Next to Laura.
And ask away, and we're here to answer all your questions. If you miss the live show, though, you can always put your questions in the comments section of any of our YouTube videos.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that. I go through pretty much every comment on a daily basis, so you'll get an answer from us at some point. All right, so you have Baby Burns with a big Z that is showing up really early, so yeah, saying hi guys.
Hi.
We have Anthony Comstock saying his classic.
He says Morena from a rodeo.
Do you
California.
really need to read at this point?
No,
I saw
that's
you
true.
reading it. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
I just want to see the words in their authentic form.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Avani,
what does Morena mean, Robin?
Morena means good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous language. Thanks for asking, Laura.
That's okay.
What is Avani saying?
Avani Patel says hello. Hello, Avani.
How are you doing, Avani? Adil is here saying kia ora, everybody. Tamo, one of our awesome Patreon as well, is here and says good evening, folks.
Good evening.
And we have Sander De Vries, another one of our amazing Patreon, saying good morning. How are you doing today? We're doing pretty awesome, actually.
Pretty chilly.
Yeah, it is cold. How is the quality today of the video? YouTube keeps on giving us some error messages saying they struggle to maintain a smooth live stream. Is it smooth? Is it working fine? Please do let us know. So yeah, how are we doing? We're doing pretty good. It is winter in New Zealand, so if you guys don't know, New Zealand has the opposite season than the Northern Hemisphere. So winter in New Zealand runs from June, July, August. Sorry, I almost said something wrong. And so that's winter in New Zealand. So we are literally at the coldest time of the year. We're living in central North Island, so the mountains around are, full of snow. And yeah, it is quite cold. It is quite cold. But, it's not as cold as it is in the South Island. All right, Lawrence is here as well, saying kia ora everybody from Boston.
Kia ora. Boston legal.
Big Dealer in the house is here. Hey, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much. So if you guys don't know about Big Dealer in the house, he's the one that helped me set up this whole system of like this live session looking sexy and everything. So yeah, that's pretty good. What is Clay saying?
Clay has wavy hands emojis saying seems good here, referring to how the quality of the live show is. So thanks for the feedback, Clay. We also have Lawrence saying the video is good, but sound is very low. Had to turn the volume up quite a bit. Okay. Good to know.
Yep.
Tamo says there is some minor lags in the live feed. Not too bad though. Okay, that's good. And Adil says video and audio is 100% clear.
Okay, I like that. And Big Dealer in the house says miss you guys. Yeah, well, you're more than welcome to pop up every week. We're not going anywhere.
We're always here every time, every
week,
8 a.m. New Zealand time on a Sunday. So yeah, we're always here.
Yeah, so we have a question today. It's the question of the day. Question of the day. Woo! Question of the day.
Yeah.
Question of the day.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, guys. So the question of the day today, you can vote in the how do we call that? In the live chat. You can vote in the live chat right now. And it is, how big is your travel group for your next New Zealand holiday? So how many people are you traveling with? So are you traveling solo? Are you traveling as a couple? 3 people, which is like the one specific one, or 4 or more. So it'd be quite interesting for us to know how many people is in your travel party. I'd like to know if you're mostly like traveling with friends, or if you kind of just taking the whole journey on your own, like our good friend Joey, which is currently planning his trip in New Zealand. All right, Avani is saying something.
Avani says, I'm a citizen in New Zealand, but I'm Indian and living in India right now, and I'm planning for New Zealand for a stay, and I have a pet. So how do I bring my pet with me?
Oh, that's a very good question. How do you bring your pet with you? So if you're just planning a holiday in New Zealand, it's not necessarily the right thing to do since you are subject to quite a lot of quarantine. So you may want to consider maybe putting your pet in a pet hotel. I've heard that now they're called kennels. Dog hotels nowadays. So you may want to consider not taking your pet with you if your trip is going to be like 2 months or less, right? However, if you're planning on traveling to New Zealand for longer than that,
Or living in New Zealand.
or even just like literally moving and living in New Zealand, what you can do, we do have some tips for you, and I'll show you. Hopefully that's gonna work. And here you're gonna type on nzpocketguide.com. You're gonna type bring pet. Hopefully that's gonna work. Come on, don't fail me. Here you go. Right here, the first result. Again, the search stuff is still a mess on NZ Pocket Guide, I agree, and that's why I'm trying to find exactly what to tell you. And in here we have a complete guide to help you bring your pet here. So since we don't know which kind of pet you're having, it's obviously going to be slightly different, but you have everything with all the type of pet that you can bring, the pet that you can bring, everything about the quarantine that you will need to subject your pet to. No matter what kind of pet it is, you will have to put your pet in quarantine. So there's different quarantine facilities. They have to do some treatments. You need import permits, all that. So you get all the information right here. And if your pet is a rat, you can take it to New Zealand. But yeah, so go on NZ Pocket Guide and type bring pet on the search bar, and you have this whole article that will help you with that. And I hope that's going to be super helpful to you, Avani.
Absolutely.
What is Sander saying?
We have Sander de Vries saying, when does spring start in New Zealand?
1st of September, which is
Yeah.
probably going to be 31st of August for you in Europe. But for us, New Zealand, 1st of September, I'm expecting every flower to blossom on the clock at midnight.
Yes.
That is what I want. But yeah, technically the weather starts improving, in the 1st of September, but it has been a very, very weird winter, I'll be honest with you. It has been super mild, and just right now it starts getting cold, and even the weather is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
We only had like small patches of rain and things, so we are obviously subject to quite big weather events and global warming, so it may just kind of differ a little bit, but usually the weather starts getting better in September, and officially spring is the 1st of September.
Yeah.
Which remind me, on the 1st of September, some Patreons need to receive a postcard, so I need to get working
on
on
to
that. All right, what is Nathan saying?
Nathan says, Morena, everyone. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Only just woke up now. Tut, 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 Nathan.
Nathan, are you still on the South Island, or are you back in Taupo now? What's the hubs with you? Tell us. Avani was giving me a bit of details, and he says I'm planning on living in New Zealand, and he has a dog, and he said thank you for the quality information. No problem. So again, NZ Pocket Guide, then in the search bar, bring pet, and then in there, and we link to all the proper, like for each different type of pets and information, we link to the proper, like in Custom New Zealand, which is the agency that's going to be dealing with bringing pets into New Zealand. So we link to the correct page on the Custom New Zealand website, so you have the official information, as well as just our research as well. So that's going to be basically most of the research done for you. We have Rafa Cat.
Rafa Cat says, good morning, guys, from the land of Great Britain. Nice to see you, Rafa Cat.
I like this introduction.
Yes. We also have Baby Burns saying, I know we've been talking this a lot in the show, but rationally, do you see things like campervan rental, etc., getting cheaper in the near future?
Well, historically, that's not really how it works, right? Like, every time all the prices go up, everybody complain about it. But then after that, you get used to it, and the companies are not going to be like, okay, well then, since our cost went down now, we're all going to go cheaper. We're going to sit on all those extra profit we can make. So usually that's not really how it works. So there are some prices that fluctuate quite a lot, such as gas. So this can go up and can go down as well. For car and campervan rentals, the issue that we're having as well is that, well, usually prices kind of start going down again when competition starts again, and therefore you have to compete on prices as well as on services for companies. However, a lot of campervan companies and car rental companies have suffered a lot through COVID, so they're all going to want to recover their loss. And some companies, such as Apollo, for example, which was a really large company in New Zealand for renting campervan, and we're going down into a big business. They are actually going to be bought by THL, which is it's called Tourism Holding. It's the largest tourism company in New Zealand. They own the Waitomo Cave, they own Brint's Campervan, they own Mighty Campervan, they own Kiwi Experience, they own the Maui Campervans. They own a lot of tourism assets around New Zealand, so they're all going to be kind of the same company. And so for this reason, they're not necessarily going to really want to compete with each other and drag the price down, right? So most of the very large companies right now are kind of together, so I'm not 100% sure if prices are really going to go down due to competition. So I don't see prices going down anytime soon. Hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, but usually the fact that there is consolidation, it's not good for the consumer. So yeah, we'll see what happens. There are some other smaller companies, and it's going to be more up to the consumer to actually shop around and go on the hunt to find less known campervan companies in order to figure out what would be the best option for them. For example, I was just talking about Apollo and Maui and Brits and everything. They have like really big RVs and everything. And there's a great little company called Travelers Autobahn. They used to have those really big, large RV, but due to COVID, they had to sell a lot of their stocks, and now they're just focusing on much smaller campers. And so therefore there is less competition and more consolidation for those kind of big RVs. So that's, everybody's going to go back in their lane, and it's going to take quite a while for competition to heat up again. It's obviously just my opinion, and we do a lot of research on NZ Pocket Guide to also help you actually find and dig out some companies that you may not have heard of, because most people planning a trip to New Zealand only heard of a handful of campervan companies, because when they do their research, there is only a handful of campervan companies that have millions and millions that they can pour down on marketing. So yeah, Laura, you're working on updating those articles recently.
Yeah, so if you check out on nzpocketguide.com, we have several articles. The main one being the best campervan and motorhome rentals in New Zealand, and that lists loads and loads of campervan rental companies. Like Robin says, some that you might have heard of, some that will be little known campervan rental companies that are more like locally owned, and they might only just have a few vans, but they're also worth checking out because they often have like a few extras or inclusions that some of those larger campervan companies don't usually include. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out our campervan rental section over on nzpocketguide.com, where we compare loads of different campervan rental companies across various different criterias. We've got the cheapest campervan rentals, best family campervan rentals. We have, affordable, good value ones. And we also have luxury campervan rentals, just as a few examples there, as well as campervan rentals that you can find in Auckland, Christchurch, Wellington, and Queenstown. So yeah, definitely worth checking out on nzpocketguide.com to see the huge variety of campervan rental companies that there are in New Zealand, all updated for you this week. So it is as up to date as can be. So definitely check out those articles. Just another thing about campervan prices, though, to bear in mind for anyone that doesn't know, the campervan rental prices that you'll see between the months of December and February are the highest that you'll see in New Zealand. Campervan rental prices can be up to, depending on the size of the campervan rental, it can be up to around $485 per day if you're getting a large motorhome. And then smaller campervans can be somewhere around, like $200 a day. But compared to hiring in the spring or autumn or winter seasons, those prices are much, much cheaper, especially in winter, where you can find campervan rentals for about $60 per day. So definitely worth considering different times of the year to travel in New Zealand. Honestly, summer is, although people like to have nice sunny days, considering going in the spring or autumn is definitely worth it. You'll save so much money, but also the weather is still pretty decent or consistent with what it's like in summer.
And you don't have the crowds and all that.
Exactly.
I mean, Laura and I, we never ever say that December, January, February, which is the summer months, are our favorite time to travel in New Zealand. We we never really say that. You know, we usually say September, October is like really good.
Yeah.
You know, March, April is really good as well. You know, so that's the
Absolutely.
kind of month that we like.
Yeah.
All right, we expanded quite a lot on that question, but that was a good question, Baby Burns. I do like that. So Clay says about when is spring starting. To answer your question, Sander, he says it starts when you see the lambs in the paddock countryside. And that's
Yes.
true. That's the start of the lambing season. It's actually really cute. I do like spring in New Zealand. It is quite nice. What is Baby Burns having to say? I think that's a follow-up.
Okay, Baby Burn says, and do you already find a list for a 4x4 rental company for travel and a little bit of off-road work? So, as we mentioned last time, there's off-the-track rentals, which they used to be based in Wanaka, but now you can do pickups in Auckland and Queenstown and Christchurch. So there's off-the-track rentals. Also, a company called Tui Campers has a 4x4 vehicle, which is also like, it has a pop-up tent that goes.
It's the one that goes on top, right?
So there's a pop-up tent on top, but also pop-up tents on the side, and then you can get an extra tent, which is a shower that you can like set up next to. It's a really weird, wacky setup, but Tui Campers also does that, which is 4x4, sort of aimed at people that like to go like hunting and fishing in New Zealand is kind of the market that they're going for. So they do know that people renting that sort of vehicle would want to go sort of a little bit off-roading. So worth checking those guys out as well. So hope that gives you a couple of more ideas, Baby Birds.
Here you go. So Sander de Vries says, so October will be a good month to start traveling in New Zealand. I was literally saying the word October. Yeah, definitely October is a pretty good month to get started. If I were you, I'd start as early as possible within the year, you know what I mean? So you don't hit the summer season too early. I'd start in September, but yeah, October is really good. Literally, you took the words out of my mouth. I literally was saying those exact months only before. That's awesome. Good choices.
Nathan says, I'm back now. I got back to Taupo Tuesday evening after flying back into Rotorua with wet weather. Oh, not so good views then, I guess.
Yeah, also it's good that you actually successfully flew back, because there's been a lot of disruption into domestic flight in with Air New Zealand. So yeah, you got quite lucky. I think they have 100,000 passengers that didn't get their flight within the last couple of weeks. So it has been quite hectic. Okay, Pranav Patel. I do like that name. Pranav. I do like that first name very much. I will give you Pranav. Hold on to your seat. You're getting an award. Your best username. Your best username.
No.
All right, you've got the best username, Pranav. So every week I give an award to somebody that has a fun username. Sometimes just a name that I like, and I do like the first name Pranav. It's pretty good. And or sometimes, it's just somebody that has something very silly and funny, which usually is what Clay is working on. Okay, so Pranav says, I have a New Zealand citizenship by descent. I stayed in New Zealand for just 8 months. I'm planning to go to Australia in a month. Is it a good idea? How my child get NZ citizen in the future? What if they will born in Australia? That is a lot of questions that is definitely not for us, Pranav. So you need to contact Immigration New Zealand at immigration.govt.nz. We are not registered immigration advisor, and for that reason, it is actually illegal for us to give you any immigration advice. And since we don't like to do anything illegal, except in the confine of our own home and privacy, I don't know why I'm saying that. We like to shoot at each other. Anyway, so we can't give you any immigration advice, my friend. So you'll have to head to immigration.govt.nz and sort that out. What is Orson having to say?
Orson says, hi Laura, hi Robin. I applied for my working holiday visa 2 days ago, and I'm trying to gather my documents for now. Can you? Thank you for informing us all this time.
Oh, nice.
You're welcome.
Did you see that recently I posted a video on the channel with like 10 tips for a working holiday visa? And also on the website, we also obviously have everything under work in New Zealand. We have everything on working holiday visa. So yeah, we got a lot for you. Yeah. Nathan says, I liked your Cook Island video. It showed some things to do when you arrive. Nice.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one we posted this time, but yeah, nice.
Awesome.
Okay, Baby Burns says, thanks a lot, Robin and Laura. You guys are the best. XOXO. Oof,
Oh,
XOXO
thank
to
you,
too.
Baby Burns.
Nice.
We have Avani Patel having a laughing face.
What did I do to Abani? What's happened?
And then Sander says, do you know how how hostel life is right now in New Zealand? Are there a lot of hostels that went bankrupt during COVID? And that there are now a lot of homeless people in hostels because of the housing crisis.
So it is a concern that a lot of people have voiced. So far as we've seen, most of the hostels that we did like and recommend are still operating. Some of them obviously have lower offerings. So what I've noticed is that quite a few hostels, so recently I was looking at Basil's Hostel, which is in Westport, which had burned but is now open again. So I don't know what happened.
Was it actually that hostel that had the fire?
I thought that was this one. Anyway, so that's why I was checking them and everything. Anyway, they don't have the 8 share bed dorm offering anymore. So their smallest one offering was 6 bed dorm share. So yeah, so a lot of hostels have kind of changed their offering, and they're slowly going to restart. Obviously, YHA Hostels, which was a big chain around New Zealand, they went bankrupt during the pandemic, so you won't find any of the YHA anymore. But a couple of them have been bought by private companies that are running them as hostel anymore. Nomads and Bays are also kind of like not too much no more, but all the
Base is reduced a lot, and there's maybe like there's Nomads still in Wellington.
Yeah, there's 2 of them in that.
Yeah, basically like Base and Nomads. There used to be a greater offering before the pandemic, but now there's only a handful, like maybe a couple in the largest cities.
But the small like independent hostels, the thing that we usually have listed as our favorite hostels in you know like Queenstown or favorite hostel in Wanaka and everything, all those ones they usually are still there. Just because they were operated out of basically houses or buildings that were owned by those people. So yeah. So now a lot of them are still operating. We've stayed in hostel not that long ago, and they all, you know, it was fine. Now, when it comes down to the homeless issue in hostels, now what the New Zealand government does is that they offer a housing grant, and they have a housing department to help those people. But usually they use motels, so they contract motel rooms, and that's usually a problem that you will find more in motels than you will find in hostels, as far as we have witnessed, obviously. So we obviously just have a narrow point of view of 2 people traveling around New Zealand and trying all range of accommodation around New Zealand. But as far as we've seen, we haven't really encountered that too much in hostels. And as far as policy goes, from our understanding, it's mostly around motels. So you should be fine, and I don't think that should be too much of a concern for you, Sander.
Good question.
Yeah.
Pranav says, it's okay. It's okay to go to Brisbane, Australia for my better career. I want to quick start my career after a long hold because of health issues.
Oh well, good luck in Australia, mate.
Yeah.
I hope that you're having a blast over there. Yeah, it's hot over there. Be careful.
Yeah. Helen Wilkinson says, "Hi, Laura and Robin. Good evening from England."
Ooh.
Good evening, Helen.
Well, good morning from New Zealand.
Good morning. Yeah.
Nathan.
Nathan says, we had a little bit of a delay for flying from Christchurch to Rotorua with the wet weather on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, okay, well, that you know, that matches with a lot of people experience, but at least you got into a flight, which is really good. So yeah, so if you guys don't know what I was talking about, New Zealand has had really wild weather in the last basically week. And obviously, some of the airports in New Zealand are smaller than, you know, like the Auckland airport and all that. And so a lot of flight disruption happened around the country. And so Air New Zealand, which is also operating with a lower staff capacity, was absolutely struggling to handle any of the issue that was happening to them. The call center had like over 4 hours waiting time, you know, which already was an hour waiting time away in the Cook Islands. So that was already long. So 4 hours, I would have been nuts. But yeah, so a massive amount of waiting time, huge amount of delays, a lot of people stranded in and around the country. So yeah, it has been quite chaotic in New Zealand, but they're slowly kind of getting back into place. I don't know if they're going to be able to provide flight for everybody. Like, let's be honest, I think they're just going to put some people in buses, but you know, they'll make it work. They'll make it work. I don't think we have enough planes to be able to run, you know, that much. Yeah. Anyway,
was it Nathan last week that was asking us advice on what to do during?
Oh yeah, what did you end up doing during your flight?
Waiting for your flight.
Yeah.
Did you find anything fun to do while you're at the airport while your flight was delayed? So hopefully our tips did give you something to think about doing.
Yeah.
Let us know.
You guys are having. I also want to point out. I do really enjoy the question that Sanders and Baby Burn are having. I mean, obviously, they're a little bit, you know, on the outer realm of tourism in New Zealand, but it's also a thing that we're looking quite a lot into. You know, we're looking a lot into like all the different companies, the different offerings. You know, when we're talking about campervans, we're looking a lot about the shift of you know, the market changes, and you know, when you come down to hostels, hotel accommodation. So I think it's quite interesting that you're asking us those questions, because it genuinely does impact your trip, and it's thing that usually we only talk about with industry insiders rather than just with people that are planning to travel to New Zealand like you guys. So I do appreciate those questions. I think they're quite interesting, and yeah, I want to say thank you for giving us those cool questions, because after all, you know, it makes us have fun.
Absolutely.
All right, what is Pranav saying?
Pranav says, thanks for the honest answers, mates. Cheers. You're welcome, Pranav. We have MD saying, hello from Texas. Still chuckling about the dolphin party and llama video. Too funny.
So if you guys remember last week, MD came around and I just pointed him out to a few videos. And yeah, he actually said, I'm going to go watch it and comment on it.
Yeah.
And he did. And yeah, that's, yeah.
Llama trekking in Kaikoura. Definitely an interesting one.
Definitely an interesting one. Yeah, you should watch the one where I break my arm in Mount Manaya. What's all the funny video? Oh, you should watch us having...
bungee jumping?
Yeah, you should watch the bungee jumping video. You should watch the Mount Manaya video, and you should watch us having fish and chips in Whitianga. And then we talk back later.
Yeah.
Anisa says, I graduated. Woohoo! Congratulations!
Woo!
Yay! What did you graduate at? What's the... Well, are you now a doctor? Are you a
rocket scientist?
Are you a violinist?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Pianist, maybe.
When you graduate, you're either doctor, violinist, or rocket scientist. There is no other jobs.
Nope.
So yeah, which one of those three are you? Okay, what's Nathan saying?
Nathan says, I was just listening to music and watching YouTube videos. That's what he did at the airport.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard stuff, you know. But I hope you're watching our YouTube videos, Nathan. That's all I'm saying.
You watch whatever you want on YouTube,
You're not allowed
mate.
to watch anything else on YouTube. No, I'm joking. There's a lot better stuff to watch, of course.
Yeah, it's just we're just two bubbling head talking. So
Yeah.
mind you, I'm Litty. I've made a list of 120 videos I'm going to be working on. 119 videos I'm going to be working on in the next few weeks. So that's going to be a lot of them. But yeah, got to get that done. Okay, Anaisa says, nope. What? You're not a rocket scientist or a violinist? I mean, get out of here. What is going on? Say, I graduated with a BA. Bachelor of Arts. Bachelor of Arts, okay. In International Relation in a UK university. In International Relation.
International
so is it to be a
relations.
diplomat, to work at the UN, or to be an ambassador? What kind of realm is that?
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Technically, we have an international relationship. Like Laura's from the UK, I'm from France, and we live in New Zealand, and we're in a relationship.
Now we talk to you guys that are from all over the world. So
There you go.
I mean, if you need some tips,
of international relationships.
we're the experts in international relations.
All right. Oluwa Joba says, hi Laura, I'm Joba from Nigeria. I plan on relocating to New Zealand with my wife for one mission to STEM education business. I've got a startup here in Nigeria. Nice.
Cool. Well, good luck, Joba.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to STEM is obviously a big topic here in New Zealand as well. There's a big push from the government and all that. So I think you'll be right at place. You're going to have a blast here.
Yeah.
Lawrence is saying, congratulations to Anaisa. Congratulations, everybody. Everybody, I want some emoji. What's your best congratulations for graduating emoji? Put it in a live chat right now. I want Anaisa to see
everybody
them.
has one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to find one while Laura is talking to Joba.
Yeah, so Joba says, my wife is a civil engineer while I'm a computer scientist, both long-term skills needed in New Zealand. I see a lot about the housing crisis and all, and I think the rest of his message is probably still loading or something.
Yeah.
So I will finish your comment when it comes through, Joba, but looks like you guys are well qualified for jobs in New Zealand, so that's always a positive thing. So we have Anissa saying, would love to work for the UN Habitat.
Okay, so you want to further the housing accessibility for less fortunate countries? Is that what UN Habitat is doing? I think that's what it is, but yeah. cool. That would be a fun job. It looks like a lot of paperwork. It's the kind of thing that usually I roll my eyes at. I rather do things than doing the paperwork. But
as long as you do that paperwork fast, Anissa.
No, we need good people like you that do the paperwork.
Yes.
Well, I just can't handle like all the slow, like kind of procedural kind of paperwork life. And so that's why kind of often when we do little project even around the South Pacific and everything like that, we just try to do it ourselves and do it alone. It's just easier.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I did put my emojis for Anaisa. We also have Nathan that put some cool emojis for Anaisa as well. That's pretty nice. But Joba is finishing. He says, if I get admitted into mission school, I have 2 years before I finish. How do I suggest I best prepare to settle in New Zealand with my wife? Well, I would suggest you actually do a lot of research. So you can head to nzpocketguide.com, and in there is really a lot of information that will help you. We also have quite a few videos which pertain a little bit more to like... how do you say, a bit more to like life in New Zealand, you know, and there's plenty of great YouTubers that do that as well on YouTube. But yeah, so we have our pros and cons of life in New Zealand. You know, there's mine and there's Laura's as well. There's the things we love about New Zealand. All those things will be like, oh, didn't think of that. Oh, I didn't think of that, you know. And so that may be kind of a good way to get started and doing a bit of research in that way. That's kind of how I would do it. Aside from that, I will actually... make sure that you don't sever all your ties in Nigeria, because New Zealand may not be for you. We always tell people you need to travel first and then you decide if you want to move to a place. You cannot just arrive and decide like from on paper I'm gonna get there. So you may want to do this kind of research as well. So yeah, just watch some people like, you know, difference between, you know, life in New Zealand and life elsewhere. And usually even if it's not your country, you know, you may find like difference between life in the US and in New Zealand. And you may find like, oh, that's interesting. You know, that's things that I didn't think about. And if you speak French, I know some people in Nigeria speak French. I actually have my video on the difference between France and New Zealand, which is the only video I've ever recorded in French. So here you go. Okay, MD says,
I'm not finished watching. I will binge soon. I scrolled through a lot of them just waiting for free time. Definitely going to watch the bungee vids.
Yeah, you need to watch the bungee. Again, the Mount Manaya is quite important to watch as well. I think it's going to make you laugh quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Anaisa says, got to experience the UK now. I'm moving to study in Paris. Ooh. Yes, and to ensure that countries in the global south get resilient infrastructure to avoid human and material damage of climate change. Oh, that's pretty good. We obviously do need a lot of help like that in the South Pacific. You know, we do cover a lot of the South Pacific region as well. We run projects over there as well. So yeah, it's not to do with habitat, but it's to do with, you know, saving the planet as well. So we all have a common good goal.
Yeah.
Lawrence, what is she saying?
Lawrence says, talking about moving to New Zealand, I saw the video collab you did with Tara from Kiwi American, Robin. That was nice.
Yeah, so for example, that's a good video for you, Joba. That would be a nice one for you to watch. Good idea, Lawrence. Yeah, there is like 8 videos of us together with Tara, I think.
So
6 or 8, yeah.
So if people search what NZ Pocket Guide and Kiwi American,
yeah, you'll find either ours or hers. It's the same. It's the same, just different editing, but it's the same videos. Just yeah.
Cool.
Michael says, "Hello. I hope I'm not too late again." No, you still have an extra 30 minutes with us. So here you go. That's a good time.
Good time to join.
Yeah. All right. So for those that are just joining right now, we have the question of the day. Remember. No. Oh, no. Let's try again. We have the question of the day. Remember. You didn't see anything, right?
No.
Question of the day. I didn't remember. Question of the day. There's no bug. Question of the day. You saw nothing. Yay! All right, guys. So the question of the day today is: how many people are you traveling with for your next New Zealand holiday? Are you going to travel solo? Are you going to travel as a couple? Are you going to travel as 3 people? That's the one specific number, or 4 or plus. So I'd love to know what's the size of your travel party when coming to New Zealand. At the end of this video, in about 30 minutes, we'll wrap that up and we give you the results that we combined together thanks to the power of computing, not my brain. That's nonsense. That would be nonsense. So far, we have 22 votes, so make sure you go and vote. Okay, what do we have? Joba says, got it. Anaisa says, thank you all. You're more than welcome, Anaisa. It looks like MD also gave you a bit of Shamrock Award, I will say.
Yeah.
Is Shamrock having anything to do with university?
I'm not sure. I just thought it was to do with like luck.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck for your career.
Finding a job after a uni.
Yeah, Bachelor of Arts always leads to exactly the job you want.
Yes.
Pranav says, I can edit your IG photos at no cost.
Oh, well.
That's nice, thank you.
Thanks.
Do they need editing? I'll be honest with you. I'll be super frank with you. I hate social media. So I really do the bare minimum on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all that. And I really don't do a lot on there, and we're not doing very well on there. Hence, I mean, we have like 8,000 people liking us on Facebook, and we have like close to 30,000 right here on YouTube. And usually it's supposed to be the other way around. You're supposed to have more on Facebook, knowing that we have the website. Like our website has like millions and millions of people going on there every year, and yet we're not converting to people liking us on Facebook and everything. We just don't care. Social media is just, it's just scroll down and waste your life. We like to have like actually really good advice, and we like to hang out on those platforms that allow us to actually be able to give substantial information to people. And I feel like the website, nzpocketguide.com, is our platform where we can really dive in depth into every subject. And even right here on YouTube, we can discuss questions for as long as we want. Damn, if I want to speak for 15 minutes about something, I can if I want to, right? And so I think that is it's kind of the combination that works for us. The only thing that we tend to like on social media is when we actually genuinely can interact with our fans. And so that's why this is where we placed our Facebook group. It's a secret Facebook group for just people which are with us on Patreon, and on there we literally hang out every day. But that's genuinely the only thing I do on social media. And Laura, I literally usually have to to nudge her and say, hey, somebody tagged you on that group, you need to go reply. And she's like, oh yeah, and she will do it in the evening. But like, if I'm not telling her that someone tagged her, there's no way she knows.
So yeah, that's
here you go.
That's the social media rundown.
Type social media is a toilet, John Oliver, and you'll get a much better phrasing of that thing.
Yeah. So
okay.
Joba was saying, got it. So
and
cool, thank you. Yeah. And then we have Michael Stewart saying, yeah, I can't control when I wake up.
Yeah, I mean, if only somebody could invite a device that can help you know when it's time to wake up, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, something that makes a lot of noise in the morning. Yeah. But yeah, I mean...
Or even just a nap on the phone or something that could wake you up. There's an app for everything. There must be an app to wake you up, isn't it?
Yeah. That sounds crazy, Robert. I don't think that exists. Helen...
I should have a sign that says sarcasm.
Yeah. Helen says, do you know if you can travel from the North Island to the South Island and then back to the North Island, do you have to do a traveller declaration form both ways? Well, you are doing domestic travel when you're going between the North Island and the South Island, so you're still within the same country. So therefore, there is no need to do another traveller declaration form. It's only if you leave New Zealand, you leave the borders of New Zealand, and then decide to come back, say a few months later or whatever, then you would have to redo a traveller declaration form. But absolutely not if you're travelling between the North Island and the South Island of New Zealand. They are still considered...
There's no paperwork whatsoever, just to make it really clear. No paperwork.
Still considered the same country. Yeah, no paperwork.
Yeah, no passenger arrival car, none of those things. Nothing. Just hop on a ferry, hop on a flight, land or lands. Yeah, both of them says lands.
Yeah.
Interesting English language. Land wherever you want, and you are good to go. Yeah. Sander says, trade me. Sander, it looks like we didn't get the first question, so would you be able to kind of reword this one? That'd be lovely.
What are you referencing in terms to trade me?
Yes, what is going on with trade me? Nathan says, we did heaps of things while in Christchurch with nice weather that we had. Nice one. So what did you do? Come on, you need to give us a list. You ask us to give you a list for months.
He's teasing
about
us.
Things to do in Christchurch. I need a list of what you've done. What have you done, mate? Helen says, and do you have to do a passenger arrival card both ways? Well, no. Again, no paperwork. No paperwork.
No paperwork.
Michael is having a good laugh. And Clay says, I second that statement. Which I bet it will be the thing about the alarm clock stuff. Oh, no. He's talking about social media. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I choose to believe what you second. And you second my statement about social media. Here you go. Now let's go have a dance off on TikTok, you and I.
Oh God.
Oh my lord. All right. Well, speaking of social media, if you do want to interact with us on social media, because I've sold it to you and I told you it's amazing, social media is awesome, you may want to join us on Patreon. Now, Patreon is a great way to reward all our hard work. You know, we do that website, we do all those videos, and you know, all free things end up having a cost, right? So if you feel like you can spare the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can join us on Patreon. You will have access to awesome perks such as a PDF travel guide, like a PDF guides of New Zealand that we haven't released anywhere else. You also have access to over 70 posts on Patreons right now, which I've done exclusively for subscribers. You have an extra 1 hour of those live sessions every single week, which is quite a lot of fun. Sometimes we talk about traveling, sometimes we play games, a lot of really fun stuff happening. But on top of that, you can join a secret Facebook group on Patreon where I hang out with you guys, and in Laura I hang out with you guys as well when I nudge her enough. And yeah, we answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. We show you a lot of behind the scene, a lot of things about life in New Zealand. Actually, we share a lot there. Pretty much daily there is something happening there, which is quite amazing. And yeah, we have a bunch of awesome people. You can see their name going below. It's a really fun community. We all help each other. It's a ton of fun. So yeah, if you want to join us on Patreon, there is a link in the description below. And yeah, it will be full of amazing good karma for you. All right. Oh yeah, and on top of that, you also get access to those like daily vlog when we travel, like you saw compilation. That's the one I posted this week, like 30 minutes worth, like amazing compilation of all the videos that I gave all our supporters.
I watched that one. It was pretty
fun.
good.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it. All right. MD, what is MD saying?
MD says, what is the NZ cuisine like? Traditional, specialised dishes, national foods? I absolutely know nothing about NZ food, but that's gonna change.
Well, the New Zealand food is relatively Americanized, to be quite honest. When it comes down to like the everyday food, it's very, very Americanized. So you won't find anything which is too foreign. When it comes down to if you want to try actual New Zealand delicacies, we obviously have plenty of videos about that on the channel. But there is hangi, which is Maori food cooked underground, slow cooked underground. There's usually lamb, chicken, vegetables, and that they also put a lot of rosemary, which I don't think is native of New Zealand, but they tend to put rosemary.
It tastes good though.
It tastes good, yeah. So yeah. So that's the kind of like traditional kind of Maori food. There is a dessert called the pavlova, which is meringue topped with creams and a ton of fruit. And yeah, that's basically like the main kind of like touristy kind of dish. For the everyday food, honestly, you'll find your sliced bread, you'll find your blocks of cheese, you'll find like pretty much all ground like beef and chicken and all that. You'll find all the cans of beans to put on your toast in the morning. You know, and
which
if
I
you
haven't done in years, by the way.
Yeah, here you go. And you'll find fruit and vegetables at the entrance of every supermarket. A couple of things in the supermarket you may find slightly bit different will be the fact that you will find sweet potatoes are named kumara here, and they have a slightly different taste than usual. And you'll find much more kiwi fruit than the usual, and kiwi fruit come in multiple colors. Gold and green are the two most popular that you probably will find in supermarket. And you'll find that the eggs are actually yellow, unlike in America, which are like really kind of palish and everything, and they taste delicious. Yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of food in New Zealand. Yeah, again, we have so many videos on it. Ask something specific and I'll be happy to answer that.
Yeah, like Roman says, we have a lot of videos because we've covered this a lot on the channel. We also have covered it extensively on nzpocketguide.com. So we have a list of, I think it's around 25 traditional foods in New Zealand to try, so definitely check out that list on nzpocketguide.com. I think you should find it pretty easily if you just type in food in the search.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot there. Seafood is kind of like the highlight in New Zealand because it is a very coastal country, a lot of access to the coast. So there's a lot of fishing that goes on here. So yeah. Seafood is kind of one of the main things to go for, I would say, for while you're in New Zealand.
I think we have a major delay right now. Clay saying yes about the social. Pranav is saying, haha, yes, YouTube is better compared to all the social media. You both are so cute. Oh, thank you very much. I choose to believe that I'm pretty and she's cute. He says, thanks, I'm going to sleep. I wish you both have a wonderful day. Yeah, it looks like there is a big delay. I apologize for that. Okay, so we have the list of things that Nathan did in Christchurch. What about we go
he
with that?
says we went to the Antarctic Centre and the Wildlife Park and Akaroa and shopping. Did you go to the Riverside Market? Because I know that we were suggesting to go to the Riverside Market. I think Clay was saying as well that it was worth going there while in Christchurch. So yeah, let us know, Nathan.
Food!
Did you actually go to the Riverside Market in the end, or were you just like, nah, where's
Yeah.
that Westfield shopping centre?
All right, Sander is phrasing the whole question now. He says, sorry about that. It didn't display. I don't know if it displayed on screen next to Laura, but it really didn't display on our screen,
Yeah.
which is quite odd. He says, I'm planning on buying a car in New Zealand when I get there.
In Auckland.
In Auckland when I get there. Is the best place to find a car on Trade Me? I think because you're coming this year, yes. Before we used to say, like go around the hostels and look at the announcement board, and usually people kind of post there that they're selling the car and all that, and you can get it straight away from another backpacker beforehand. But I think that you're coming this year, the market's going to be like really low, right? There's been no backpackers basically around for so long. So I think that your best bet is going to be going on Trade Me for sure.
Because on Trade Me, you'll have a mix of private sellers, but you'll also have car dealerships that advertise basically on Trade Me, and then you'll basically see it on Trade Me and just be like, okay, I'm going to go to that dealership and actually buy it straight from those
That's
guys.
how we bought. That's what we bought our car, for example. So
Yeah.
we bought a car. So we had a really specific requirements, right? We were looking for a car which was hybrid. We were looking for a car that could go completely flat at the back when you put the seat down, by itself without having to do extra building, because we won't be able to just put a mattress at the back, sometimes if we're traveling and we go really off-road and stuff like that. So we had a bunch of specific requirements. We wanted it to be under $10,000 or all these kind of things, right? And so there was like kind of one car model that was good for us. And so we did spot which dealership had this car, and then we went to those dealership and just kind of like pretend to browse around, but we knew exactly what we wanted. And so yeah, we were able to get quite a good deal. Which was quite good.
Yeah.
I do like our new little car. I mean, our new little car. It's been what, over a year now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's been like,
yeah.
how long has it been?
Probably about a year.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Time means nothing anymore.
Anyway, so starting on Trade Me will be the best thing for you. If you are watching this video, and what would you, in about like 3 years from now, probably there is going to be different ways to find cars, just because there's going to be much more used cars, there's going to be much more backpackers leaving as you're arriving and all that. But we're talking, we're really in a bit of a time capsule of 2022 right now.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're giving you, that specific advice. So let's just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. We are down to Nathan saying, no, we didn't go to the Riverside Market. We were staying close to Hagley Park. We were closer to the Westfield Mall. So there you go. You went to the Westfield Mall. But Hagley Park, I hope you spent some time having a look around there, because there's some really cool areas of Hagley Park, especially the Botanic Gardens.
Did you like the Botanic Garden over there, Laura?
I did.
What did you like about it? Is it the flowers?
Well, yeah, the flowers are really pretty, but I actually like that there's so many different sections to it that it's actually worth sort of exploring it a bit more. They have they have an area with a duck pond with some sculptures in the middle. Then they have that sort of kinetic sculpture in a water fountain thing going on. They have like a side thing which is like a native garden, and then another side thing which is another themed garden. Just keep looking. There's different stuff to find. It's cool.
Laura does like a good garden.
Christchurch is the garden city, Robin.
It
so
is.
you need to look at your gardens when you go to.
It's also the
Christchurch.
Avon city, but
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's got the Avon River going through.
all right. So MD says, "Wow, your website is impressive." Well, it is New Zealand's largest travel guide, so yeah, we do put a lot of work. It's our daily
our
job,
baby.
right? It's our daily job. So yeah, no, there is a lot in there, and there's a lot of information, and there is. We are doing a lot of updates right now, obviously, since tourism is restarting. So yeah, a lot of things. Hey, Joey is here. Says, hey, good morning.
Aye.
Okay.
Or maybe AA. I suppose he's
aye.
Australian, so he's like A.
I don't know how Australian
I'm
sounds.
not sure either, so.
I don't know. I just know they come out of their own patch.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Maybe, Joey, you need to send us a voice recording of you saying that so we can imagine better how you say it. Sander says, thanks for all the answers. One last question for now. How can you insure a car as a backpacker?
Okay, so first up, it doesn't have to be the last question. Remember that we do have the extra Patreon live session coming in literally 15 minutes, so you're more than welcome to
And
keep
we're
on going
here
with the
to
questions.
answer your questions. It's kind of what we do.
But yeah, how can you insure your car as a backpacker, Laura?
Same as anyone, really. So there's obviously a lot of insurance options in New Zealand, and there are insurance options where you don't have to necessarily commit for 5 years or anything. If you're only coming to New Zealand for 6 months or coming for a year, then there's insurance options for that. So because there's such a wide offering, you do have to kind of do your research online and check out the best deals. On the website we do have insurance related articles. So if you go to buying a car /campervan section on nzpocketguide.com, we do have a few different articles which can tell you about how car insurance works in New Zealand, whether it is mandatory, which actually it's not even mandatory in New Zealand, it's a personal choice.
Do you need car insurance?
There's
a typo.
Oh,
I
no.
spotted the typo on the website. No.
Yeah, so take a look on nzpocketguide.com for how car insurance works in New Zealand to see, what sort of insurance you need to get. What is, again, like I say, it's a personal choice whether you want to go full-blown comprehensive, obviously the most expensive options, or you can just get third-party insurance, which is a bit cheaper. Or you can go risque and not insure your car.
It's not mandatory to have an insurance.
all.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, so we do have, as I mentioned, like a small car that go fly in the back. We could sleep in the back if we wanted to and everything. And we pay $276 for a year for a third-party insurance. That's basically what it costs us. Just let me know, even in a Facebook group, in a Patreon Facebook group, just ask me that, Sander, if you want. I'll give you a link of which insurance we have, for instance. We never had to use it, so I don't know if they're good or not. We DT get the cheapest because the insurance, no matter what, their job is not to pay, so they don't pay. Anthony says, is the price of food and gas gone up where you are? In California, it is doubled in price in both gas and food. Yeah, everything has went massively, massively up. Something very funny, we buy flour by the 10 kg bag because we do bake a lot.
Of baking.
Yeah, we do a lot of baking. And the 10 kg bag was $20 about a year ago, and now it's $35. And it's about to go up again. So that's to tell you how much it went up. When it comes down to gas at the moment... gas price went down the last couple of days, but usually it has been really, really high. But I think it's everywhere in the world. When we'll go, I need to refill the gas tank again probably next week or something. So I'll take a picture for you, Anthony.
Yeah, and an interesting thing that at the moment in New Zealand, because the price of life has gone up, the New Zealand government, for instance, has introduced a mandate for the next, I guess it's like half a year, few months, for reducing the cost of public transport, because obviously public transport, their prices, their costs have gone up with the fuel costs going up, but that means that in general for people that need to use it, it's usually, it's too expensive for a lot of people. So yeah, now there is a government sort of issued mandate now that the price of public transport has been halved for most cities in New Zealand. So yeah, although the price of life has definitely gone up, after the last few months in New Zealand, there are some sort of like things that the government are doing to try and reduce the costs as much as possible. But yeah, at the same time, it is still more expensive than it was a few months ago. So
sure.
Definitely feeling that in New Zealand too.
Okay.
So we have
Nathan says, thanks for giving me an idea for next time I'm in Christchurch. Nice one. Joey says, okay, done. I didn't see the recording yet. There is a major delay from receiving messages at the moment on Facebook. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anthony says, I'll be glad when prices go back down. Hopefully that happens.
Yeah.
I really want it to happen, but we'll see. Gabrielle Wild says, I'm going to apply for a working holiday visa in this year. I'm waiting. Nice one. Which country are you coming from? That would be cool to have you on a working holiday visa, Gabrielle. I mean, at least you cannot say you're not prepared. We have so many videos relating to working holiday on this channel. That is quite insane. So yeah.
Working holidays is something that is dear to our hearts, as we both arrived in New Zealand originally doing a working holiday visa. So we do know quite a lot on the subject.
And Clay says, good to see the number on the live stream getting back up. Yeah, well, we have 21 people right now currently watching. That's awesome. Nice to have you all on board, by the way.
Welcome, guys.
Is that more than the usual? I guess it is a little bit. I'm not sure. Gabrielle says, I'm from Brazil. I can't wait for that. Oh, nice. Yeah, so we actually have a friend from Brazil. That same thing, started in New Zealand on a working holiday and then, bam, stayed here forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that end up loving New Zealand and they can't leave.
Yeah,
find ways to stay. So that's always good if you are one of the lucky ones.
Obrigado. If you come, by the way, bring us a bottle of cachaça, if that's okay. Just, if you can smuggle that in for us, that'd be awesome. Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Okay, what is Helen saying?
Helen says petrol prices have gone down this week in the UK.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. So it went down a little bit this week as well in New Zealand. Obviously, it didn't go down to like pre-Ukraine war level, obviously, but it is still much lower than it was like a couple of weeks ago. What the New Zealand government, did you say that they removed the tax on the petrol? Did you say that?
No, I didn't say
that. So what the New Zealand government has done actually to try to ease that a little bit as well is that they extended their cut on taxes on the price of gas. So like in many countries in the world, the price of gas in New Zealand is quite heavily taxed. And so what the New Zealand government has done is that they removed all the taxes in order to try to ease that pain on consumers' wallet. And they removed the tax on petrol and they extended that all the way to January. So we'll see if that stays up or not, but that helps keep the price a little bit lower than what they would have been otherwise. Lawrence says, do you guys know if there is an alternative to the working holiday visa for someone over the max age? At that point, let's say your only options are going to be to actually try to emigrate to New Zealand or get a work visa. And to get a work visa, you will need to get an employer and all that. So once you pass that threshold of age, it is very hard in many countries in the world, right? It's not just in New Zealand, but even the J1 visa in the US, the working holiday visa in Canada, the working holiday visa in Australia, and some of the work visa even in Asia, like in Hong Kong and all that. So it gets much harder to be able to do those exchange visas as soon as you pass that threshold of age, and literally your only path are like actually immigration path, which is, I'm sorry, not a nice thing to say, but I know getting old is not fun. You have to become sedentary when you are old. Stop with this nomadic lifestyle of yours. This is nonsense. Stop living in a yurt and start living in a condominium apartment. Thank you.
Pretty much.
Yes, your two choices are a yurt or a condominium apartment. That is the two choices you have, in life. And once you pass 30 years old, the condominium is the only thing you can do.
Yeah,
that is it.
Those working holiday visas are pretty ageist, that's for sure.
I know. And all those working holiday makers traveling around with a yurt, it's just crazy.
Did you discover a new word? Did you want to keep saying yurt all the
Yurt. No, I don't know. I just felt like saying the word yurt.
Why not? Clay says, well, it's better than the Lockdown 5.
That's true. That is better. All right, what do we have? Gabrielle says...
Sorry, you say it because you can say the word.
I'm impressed that you know cachaça. Well, I mean, if you hang out with Brazilian, you've got to know cachaça. I mean, otherwise you don't know how to party. Okay, Chris and Claire says, good morning all. They're on time for the Patreon live session, which is awesome. How are you guys doing? Thank you very much for sharing your itinerary. So, for example, Chris and Claire are traveling with their kids in New Zealand, and they shared in our Patreon Facebook group a great Google map with their entire itinerary, all marked and everything. It's really awesome. So now we start having quite like the map of everybody on there, so we can share itinerary and compare all that, and I love it. Anyway, next up, Joey, what is Joey saying?
Joey says, so it looks like I won't be able to use my phone in the Cook Islands like I can in New Zealand and here in Australia. What's your advice on that?
So why can you not? Is it because your phone is not unlocked? Because if your phone is unlocked, you can get yourself a SIM card, which is $49, and it comes with some credit on there. It's a Vodafone Cook Islands only, like, SIM cards.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to have your little bundle and be able to use it for 5 or 7 days.
15 days.
15 days. Here you go. Many days. Because it's there for only a week anyway.
Yeah.
But so you can do that if you want to spend $49. Otherwise, roaming is actually very limited in the Cook Island. It's kind of weird. Like even us with our New Zealand SIM cards, we did not have access to roaming. It's weird.
Yeah, so it depends obviously what network, if your network from home allows you to roam in the Cook Islands. But if you can't, for instance, and you don't want to spend the $50 New Zealand for a SIM card and a bundle in the Cook Islands, then alternatively, you can always just try to connect to the Wi-Fi hotspots, which you have to pay for, because the Wi-Fi hotspots around Rarotonga are operated by Vodafone Cook Islands as well. And yeah,
Got a grip on that country.
yeah. So this one company owns everything in the Cook Islands, and you will have to pay a fee in order to be able to access their Wi-Fi hotspots. They do have quite a lot of Wi-Fi hotspots around, but yeah, just know that free Wi-Fi is almost impossible to get in the Cook Islands.
Yeah.
But you can use that as an option if you don't want to put a new SIM card in your phone and go through all that nonsense. So yeah. There's your options, Joey, but make sure you head over to cookislandspocketguide.com. We do have articles completely about phone networks, about Wi-Fi, so search those in the search, either phone or Wi-Fi in the search.
Let me help out with that. Come on.
Robin will give you a visual.
Okay, well, I'll put my face on there. Oh,
Okay.
wow, you go on cookislandpocketguide.com. No, you're not. Here you wow, you go on cookislandpocketguides.com. This is smooth. Hey, if there's no proof that this is live, here you go. All right, so cookislandpocketguide.com right here. Travel tips. It's probably on frequently asked question. No, arrival tip. Which one is it?
Maybe frequently asked questions.
Yeah, here you go. Frequently asked questions. That's what I was thinking. And then in here we're having and the best times. No. Yeah, will your phone work on Rarotonga and the Cook Island? Look at that with Laura on the beach on the phone. Look at that. That's really cool. And then the best SIM cards to get there right here. All right, cool. So if I click on will your phone work, look at Laura. She's looking amazing, doesn't she? She doesn't even need to be there. And so in here you have like, everything you need to know about getting that. And also we point you to, Wi-Fi hotspots. So we have a guide about the Wi-Fi hotspots right here. And we point you out as well to the best SIM cards right here. So you are all sorted with that. So Cook Islands Pocket Guide, Cook Islands largest travel guide. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, our latest travel guide in the Pocket Guide series. So take a look.
So Joey says, I'm with Vodafone. What's the best option of the two? So again, it really doesn't matter if you're with Vodafone or with anything else, because Vodafone Australia and Vodafone Cook Island don't work together, right? So it doesn't matter. It depends. Is your phone unlocked or not? If your phone is not unlocked, you got to go for the SIM card. Sorry, with the Wi-Fi option that Laura said. Or if your phone is unlocked, then you can insert a new SIM card. So your network doesn't matter is if your phone is unlocked or not. That's the key component of what Laura explained.
Yeah.
Lauren says, well, it doesn't look like fun.
Yeah.
It does sound like fun. Well, maybe a yurt is not as boring as you think. A yurt is a lot of fun. You can come with a herd of goats. Like some people travel with a yurt and a herd of goats around the desert of North Africa.
Yeah.
And they're very happy and they have a lot of fun.
Not the roads of New Zealand.
Yes.
But yeah. They actually travel in barrels. There are barrel campervans you can go around in
That's
New
true,
Zealand.
that's true. All right, so MD says, I'm listening, but I'm looking at the foodie guide, Kiwi Barbecue. Thank you, Robin. You're very
Nice.
welcome. Enjoy, mate. We do have a lot of guides on the side. It's always... every time we're like, oh yeah, we've got an article on that. Oh yeah, we've got an article on that.
Okay, so we have we're going down to
We have our
Anthony.
favorite t-shirt sentence.
Anthony says, stay safe, but I'm here until the end,
Boom.
which is his signature end phrase. Then we have Nathan saying, when do you think is the best time to visit the Cook Islands? The best time to visit the Cook Islands is whenever you're ready, because it has beautiful weather all year round. But I would say I'll twist your question and say when to not go to the Cook Islands. Don't go in July.
Here you go.
Because that is when that's when the winter school holidays are in New Zealand and Australia, and then that's when all the families go.
That's when it's like super busy.
Prices are higher. It's busier around. So just any time except for July would be my advice.
Yeah. Okay. Hatton says, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Joey says, how do you know if your phone is unlocked or not? It depends on your phone model and it depends where you bought it. You probably need to call Vodafone if you bought it from Vodafone and ask them. Like, I usually buy phones like from phone manufacturers and not from the phone providers because they lock it usually. But the one time I had it, I was with Spark in New Zealand, and I had to call them and I had to ask them to unlock it for me. And they said, no, you're under my contract, blah, blah, blah. You're not unlocking it. It just drove me nuts. And so I sold it back and I bought phone from manufacturer forever. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure how you know if your phone is unlocked or not.
Yeah, so I think
Maybe Google it.
the first thing you need to do is know where you bought it from would be the first step.
Usually if you bought it from a phone company like Vodafone,
it'll probably be locked.
Yeah, it'll probably be locked.
Yeah.
All right, so question of the day as we wrap up. Question of the day. I forgot the logo almost. Question of the day. I forgot the logo almost. I forgot the logo almost of the question of the day. Woo! All right, we're back. Question of the day. It was, how big will be your travel group for your next New Zealand holiday? And overwhelmingly, you are going to travel solo at 53%, then as a couple at 31%, then 4 or plus, a big group at 9%, and 3 is going to be you, me, and Marley, and that's a 6%. All right, so that is... This came out of nowhere. And so that was 6% for 3. So okay, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us for this awesome live session, or at least I think that was awesome. I really had fun. We are going to hop onto the Patreon live session, so if you feel like supporting us on Patreon, do that and you get another hour of this nonsense. And we'll talk about traveling in New Zealand even more over there. And Laura will leave you with the last word of the day, which is her favorite romantic comedy.
Sandwich.
Bye, guys. You're not prepared for that question, were you?
I was prepared for a random word.